This segment is brought to you by Gin Gators. We sink our teeth into service.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very much. And whenever we'd like to get updates and news coming out of Lafourche Parish, best place to do that, Captain Brendan Mathern, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. Captain Brendan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Keith.
All right, I appreciate it. Just got some updated information. I appreciate the press release here, but and some additional information. Tell us about this case involving Mr. Nakhan III and Ms. Cormerdale.
Yeah, so last week we were able to conclude an investigation into a couple of individuals having to do with sex crimes with a juvenile. We arrested 25-year-old David Nakhan III, who you see here, along with 23-year-old Lauren Cormerdale. David is from the Chauvin area originally. Lauren is from Paradis, but we believe they were both living in St. Charles Parish. Through investigation, we found that they had allegedly committed some lewd acts involving at least one juvenile. We were able to obtain arrest warrants for both of them. On Cormerdale was the first arrested on April 30th. We were able to make contact with her and book her into the correctional complex. She was charged with indecent behavior with the juvenile. Her bail is set at $50,000. And then we put that release out on May 2nd, and probably within hours after the release, we had Nakhan in custody as well. He is charged with indecent behavior with the juvenile as well. His bond is set at $250,000. So, Keith, this is, again, one of those incidents where we're happy to have made the arrest, but now you always have victims in these situations that will certainly have to take some time to heal. And could, especially with the juvenile, this is the sort of thing that could haunt them the rest of their lives. Yeah,
it's one of those things that we feel, again, happy and sad all at the same time. Clinically, we know that these situations can be very difficult, like you mentioned. I'm very, very glad, however, Brendan, that we have the resources that we do, certainly through Lafourche Parish, where we've got a team dedicated to the help and recovery of these children and support for the family.
And it all starts, from our perspective on the arrest. When something like this is brought to light, our juvenile detectives are very passionate about what they do. They're not just, they didn't just get a detective spot. They specifically chose to be a detective that specializes in juvenile investigations. So these investigations are near and dear to their heart. They take a lot of pride in their work. Obviously, it takes a special person to be able to investigate crimes like this day in and day out. And they are some of our unsung heroes here at the Sheriff's Office because the type of things that they have to investigate is tragic and horrific in many cases. So again, in this particular case, finding out that at least one juvenile had been victimized by this couple, it was hard enough. And thankfully, they were able to complete their investigation and obtain the proper arrest warrants.
Yeah, and so we appreciate that. Thanks for getting him off the street. Now the process begins through and with the DA's office, which is so very glad that y'all work so very closely with in bringing those cases to completion and fruition.
Absolutely. And it's weird, Keith, when you talk to other sheriff's offices and DA's offices throughout the state and certainly throughout the country, they don't have a great working relationship in many other places. So that's one thing with Sheriff Craig Weber and our district attorney, Christine Russell. We've had a longstanding good working relationship, even from her predecessor. So, we continue that good working relationship, all in all, to bring justice to these victims.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Now, we also have some additional information that we want to share as we talk a little bit about these Ty Hebert and the Canine Sox that recently attended the National Narcotic Detector Dog Association Annual Training Conference.
Yeah, they were able. These annual conferences go on, every year, and we always send at least one. Deputy Ty Hebert went along with Canine Sox, who you see here. They had nearly 40 different groups participating from throughout the country, and they finished in the top third of the competition. So,
Wow.
again, we talked about our juvenile detectives just now, and we've talked about our investigations teams and a lot of our agents, a lot of our sections here within the sheriff's office, some of the best in the country. And once again, even our canine unit are showing that they can compete and are up against some of the best in the country at what they do. So congratulations to Deputy Abear and K9 Sox for an outstanding showing at a national conference.
Yeah, that's wonderful that they've done that. But we also had a little shot where Adriatic Marine made a difference for them being able to do a training on their vessel.
Yeah, so this is really cool. You see the picture here. This is something that we do often with the sheriff's office. We have a lot of community partnerships with businesses and even just property owners throughout the parish. We conduct things like training for our crisis management unit or SWAT unit in many of those locations. We've done it on vessels like this before. We've done canine trainings on vessels before. So this is nothing new to us, but we appreciate it, and we always want to shout out those businesses and business owners who allow us to come in and conduct the training. And in many cases, we may have to do a very specific exercise or a very specific operation aboard a vessel, especially with either a SWAT unit, a tactical unit, or a canine unit. So it's very valuable training to be able to get those guys in on one of these vessels.
We appreciate it. Thank you for the updates. As always, we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on Bayou Time.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.